republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. So I don't know if you two ladies have been here, Bailey and Ruby, but we value your opinion so much and also want to make sure that you have the opportunity to go home and do homework, etc. On our long board nights. And I know tonight's the high school tour, so you may not want to, but we moved the student representative comments to the beginning of our agenda so that if you can say what you need to say and if you need to go, then you're welcome to do that.
Okay.
So we're going to turn the time over to our student board representatives to share any thoughts or considerations that you have at this time. We can start with Bailey. Do you want to start?
Sure.
Okay.
So we have about 3 weeks until semester's over, so everybody's a little bit stressed out, but that's okay.
Teachers included.
Yep. Seniors just started their senior research papers, which is a lot, but that's okay. The boys and girls basketball team had a safe trip to Arizona. The girls team took third. The boys team, you know what? They got their first win and they are over the moon about it, so that's okay. Tolo is going to be January 25th, and it is at the Tacoma Car Museum.
Oh, cool. Oh, that's going to be fun.
They've done it one other time before, and they said it was a great time, so they're really looking forward to that. Knowledge Bowl has their home meet I don't know if you call it a meet or a competition.
Competition, I don't know.
Yep, that's coming up pretty soon, and our play is in the works right now too, so that'll be coming out pretty soon. They've finished their auditions, and now they're
Remind me, what are they doing for the play?
The Little Mermaid.
Little Mermaid, that's right.
Yep.
That was something really fun.
Yep, so that's kind of our things going on.
Nice. I was also going to mention Tolo, but you got that covered. Running Star students just started winter trimester on January 6th, which was this week after our month-long break. So we already got our trimester out of the way. And then degree planning was due last week, so everyone's getting in, their degree plans and transcripts, making sure that they have everything set out for the rest of the year. Eatonville Middle School just started their tutoring program, and they're also, Mr. Sneezak, and some of the counselors throughout the schools are creating a tutoring and mentoring program that'll start from elementary schoolers and it'll transition all the way up to the high school. So it'll work on making sure each transition is, comfortable and safe, and making sure that, elementary school to middle school to high school is just a nice and easy transition. And you already got told, so we're all set.
Can I ask you some questions about the mentoring and tutoring? Because I was just talking to the community member who brought that really awesome grant to us for the mentoring and tutoring, and she wanted to see more student involvement and student tutoring. So who are you reaching out to? How are you recruiting? What's that look like? I know you're probably in the planning stages, but what's that look like?
So right now, just like the academic tutoring, I'm not doing any of that. That's more the teachers, and that's the before school tutoring for at least for Eatonville Middle School. It's different for each school, depending on the age.
Right.
And right now, that money's just going toward making sure the teachers are getting, enough time to support students before school. The mentoring program is separate. It doesn't really revolve around academics. It more revolves around, emotional health towards students and making sure that each transition, is safe. They have the support they need, not only academically, but also emotionally and mentally.
Like a big brother, big sister type.
Yeah, exactly. So just
transition.
making sure, like high school seniors are helping out the new high school freshmen, and the freshmen helping out the 8th graders, and the 6th graders helping out the 5th graders.
So all those transition points.
Yeah, so right now we're still in the planning stage, but we're trying to get, counselor feedback and finding a good way, do we use ASB and look at that? And maybe ASB is like, for elementary school, middle school, maybe they're the mentor, or are we looking more for just like role models throughout the grades? So right now we're just in the planning stages.
That's awesome. I love that. And I would love if both Bailey and you, when you're doing in these various groups, either in your leadership class or in this planning process, to reach out to students to see if they're interested in becoming tutors, academic tutors, as well as mentors, because I can see the benefit for service. But those service hours
It
are
also
really
creates
important.
a good learning opportunity.
It's a
both
great
ways.
learning opportunity, but also, to be tutored by a high school kid if you're in middle or elementary, that's a big deal. That's really cool.
Yeah.
So, and I know my children enjoyed being tutors when they were in high school as well. So reach out. Yeah, actually, I think you had a couple of Litzberger tutors. That's right. As if you needed it. I think it was flu lessons. That's what it was. Okay, thank you so much. We value and appreciate all you guys are doing. Thank you for being here. And I know you're so busy, but you're doing great things and we're really proud of you. All right, so now we're gonna, I would consider any changes or additions to the consent agenda. Hearing none, I would consider a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion.
second?
second.
We have, it's been moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Outstanding. Now we get to the best part. Oh, hearings of individuals and groups. Don't see anybody? Okay, now we get to the best part, our work study. So we have one item that we're going to be raising real quick, and Sally, this is a first reading, so we're taking no action on this policy. That means we're just reviewing it. But Sally, you want to give us a little bit of background?
Yes, we're looking at policy 2023 and we're adding in our artificial intelligence into our use in digital citizenship. With AI, we are building out a plan for our district, which starts with a team that's going to the AI summit, and that got moved to February, so we're making a little more of a late lift off of that because we really want the team to come away with the same information so that we can build guidance and procedures for our students and staff. The next step, we want to make sure our staff have the training and understand all the components of AI and AI use. And we also want to put lessons before our students, also digital citizenship lessons for our students, so they also have good understanding when they're on it and know what the right protocols are to use it. So we really want to promote AI literacy, but we also want to provide clear guidance to students and staff. We want to build capacity. When we think about our plan, we really think about our 4 steps of initiating, which is where we are right now, which would also include evaluating and improving AI tools for use under the laws around COPA, COPA policies. We're going to be building out the professional development and student lessons, and then we want to identify promising practices. We know that AI can have an impact positively or negatively on how we might modify curriculum, how we may assess students, do grades, how students may interact with it. So we really want to be able to design a well thought out plan for students and staff. And likely we're going to be reviewing, after we adopt policy, we would be reviewing that probably yearly as AI changes, since it's new and young and there'll be adjustments as time goes on.
Just like cell phones, right? We've had to do adjustments. Travis, you actually run this up. You're in charge of the summit that's been postponed.
Yeah.
You're the reason we have to wait on these things. I'm just kidding.
You're the reason. I'm the reason.
You're the reason. Do you want to add? Is there anything you'd like to add?
There's so much, but not really at this time. It's important to get artificial intelligence into the language of digital citizenship as a start. I think people inherently understand the impact of what they've heard artificial intelligence is, but there are very few things out there that you would adopt a quote policy for in terms of a tool. Like we do not have a policy for a calculator, and AI is akin to that as a product or as a tool being released. It's already in current tools that students use and we use as programs. This is more about, by putting it in my opinion, the digital citizenship language, is a lot about what are we teaching kids about with deep fakes, social media, AI use, and then like Ms. Katie put forward is how are we then addressing now that if we choose to adopt this language in our policy, how are we working with teachers on best practice and use with it? Currently, using a product or is covered by our tech policies already. In other words, a search engine on the internet is really no different than what teachers are supposed to put or not put in it for student information, and obviously you're not supposed to. But it's important to call it out as a little bit of a separate entity, because it is something that is generated. If when you put information in, it can generate something for you back. So even though it's the same thought process a teacher or a student should be going through as to what kind of information you're putting into it, it's important to acknowledge its slight difference as well. So excited to see this go forward in that way. It's as scary as it is for people. It's not any different than, it's not going anywhere at all. Students who are in Running Start, I'm sure have confronted with their teachers at community college level what this looks like in use. I'm not familiar with what the high school's been through yet, so I don't mean that as any disrespect to any class at the high school at this moment. So just super excited. interesting thing, and I think I don't like the word scary for us as our age. I'm 51. But it is going to be faster and a bigger evolution than the internet. And that's undeniable. So it's what do we do? How do we tackle it? How do we get students ready to use it? Off the cuff, I'll tell you right now, Microsoft is hiring more prompt engineers than coders. Prompting is what is coding for AI. Don't need coders anymore if AI can tell you what's right or wrong.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a whole different, and it's moving fast, so.
And I'm excited that, one, we have your professional talent on the board, and that we are going to be looking forward for our students, and that we will be working as a team to come up with procedures that will help us all as a district move forward.
I said real quick, and so the community knows too, there is state guidelines on the processes. There, again, it is not one size fits all, so we get to look at what works, so.
Excellent. So with that, we're not taking any motion on this because this is first reading, work study. We will be bringing it back in February, hopefully after we have, the staff has the opportunity to really take some look and give us some additional feedback, but at the moment, this is what we have. All right, now the best part of tonight is that we get to hear from Eatonville High School. And if you see, there's a separate agenda that kind of gives us a breakdown. And we're going to go ahead and turn the time over.
Okay.
That's what's turning.
So we thought we'd do something a little bit different. Thought we'd do something a little bit different for you guys tonight. So when we've, kind of in previous years, trying to highlight certain programs or things like that we can bring here, and that catches a little bit of our programs, but there's just really great academic things happening every single day in every classroom. And so we wanted to give you a little flavor of a day in the life, but it's really abbreviated. But we have students in 3 different locations, and we're gonna go on a little tour. You guys can try it. The goal today is to not be tardy, okay? That's our goal. We're already tardy. We're already tardy. We have the Mr. Christensen's class, which is very close, but
Oh, okay.
so just a quick overview. We're gonna start in Alex Christensen's class. He's got some students from his AP language course, and they're gonna kind of talk about what they've been working on and kind of lead you through a little activity. Then we're going to head over to Mr. Moller's class and the senior civics class. He's got some students that are gonna talk about what they've been working on this fall and share some of the presentations that they put together in an earlier unit. And then we're gonna finish in the culinary classroom. But it's not a class thing, it's actually, so Kelly Powell, all of the CTE programs, they also have clubs associated with them. So Kelly Powell is the head of the FBLA, Future Business Leaders Club. Well, they don't call it that. The kids have renamed it. It's called Life Savvy 101. And so it is pretty fun. There's just been a lot of student interest and energy that has just kind of kicked off this fall. That's where they've rebranded this whole thing. So they are taking on anything that they could possibly think to want to learn. So they have something that they want to share with you. So that's what we're gonna do.
Awesome. And you will be coming back here.
We can, yeah, so you guys can just leave everything, we can lock it up and.
Okay.